Man, I didn't get the agenda again. Or
You
maybe
didn't
I
get it.
missed it.
Okay, let me screenshot and send it to you. Welcome back to this podcast, Don Tesla Pod, on our 10th episode. Yeah. So we're back here with me, of course, and we got Gas and Will like usual.
Yo.
And let's get started. So right after last podcast, after we recorded, this news just came out about Jamal Adams and the Seattle Seahawks doing a trade. So the Jets send the safe Jamal Adams in a 4th rounder to Seattle for 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. And I think it was who else was it too? Like their safety. Like
It was
McDougal.
I forget his name.
Bradley McDougal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it looks like the Seattle defense got a little upgrade, but a lot of people are saying they gave up too much. What are you guys' thoughts about it?
They did give up 2 first-rounders that could be like potential, like really good players, really good defensive players. But I think it's worth it because Jamal Adams is definitely the best safety in the league right now. So I think it was 100% worth it because that team, the Seahawks, are already good enough. So if they just get better on the defensive side of the ball, like their secondary, it might be just game over.
Yep. The only question that I have is how much can a safety do for your team in modern day football? But besides that, I kind of like the move just in theory because if you're gonna go for it, go for it. And Seattle knows like their window is now. Now is our time, and first round picks are one thing, but how often do first round picks not pay out like work out? And how often do you get a first round pick that ends up like a guy like Jamal Adams? Not often.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good trade for both teams because the Jets get first round picks, which are valuable, but the Seattle Seahawks get the better player.
And I think the Jets need those 2 first-round picks.
Bad.
Yeah.
Like the Jets do have a bright future, and like losing Jamal Adams hurt a lot, but they still have a great offense with Josh Allen and not Josh Allen. What's his name? Sam Darnold. And Le'Veon Bell. So
Yeah, they just need to work around like the offensive line. I'd say the offensive line and the
and their front office too.
They were 7-9 last year. What did they start last year? Not good.
No, they didn't start good. I forget what, but
I feel like if they can get like better head coach and a good offensive line. A good offensive line, they'll be good. And same thing. You can say the same thing about Seattle. Like they need a good offensive line because Russell Wilson was tied with Kyler Murray with most sacks. So and that's probably their big problem when they went against the Packers.
You could also say that they that Russ he kind of forces himself out of the pocket sometimes, and like a little too much in a game, I'd say, because that's why he gets sacked so much. He just he always decides to roll out instead of just stay still in the pocket, even though he can do both because he's an elite quarterback.
And also what hurts the Seahawks a lot is injuries. You see how Chris Carson was injured last year, and then they had to start how old is he, 35-year-old Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
They still won versus a team I don't want to name, but
Eagles after they took our head off.
The team they don't want to name. We don't want to name.
They won by 9 points, and we didn't have our starting quarterback after
They won by 8, and it came down to literally the last possession where DK Metcalf caught one on 3rd down. That's when everyone started getting up and leaving. Right there, that ball gone. Everyone was gone.
Yeah. But speaking of Jamal Adams, Le'Veon Bell came out saying this: "People do all the hooting and hollering to get you brought in. just to leave low. Like, people weird, yo. The internet got these dudes doing whatever for attention, even when they tell you bleep, they don't believe themselves. So he's probably talking about Jamal Adams, how he was the one recruiting him over to New York, and then just to leave the next year.
Yeah, I'd be mad too. I'd be really mad.
Going from a good Steelers team,
I
or what could be a good Steelers team, right? Like
Yeah,
they went
really
8-8
around.
this year. They went 8-8 this year. Imagine if they still had Le'Veon Bell instead of James Conner.
Yeah. I don't know why. And, like,
But-
he hold out all that year just to go to the Jets out of every single team. He ruined my fantasy team, too. I was mad because I drafted him.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh, was that the one in our league?
No, that was the year before.
Okay.
because
Our league, I dominated with, Chris McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook.
wait,
But
wait,
what place did you come in? Second.
Second.
Manny,
Because Dak Prescott sold.
wait, Manny, you had Le'Veon Bell the year that he sat out.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of should have seen it coming. I hope you didn't use a premium pick on that.
No, that was like a later pick.
Yeah.
But, and other news, Joey Bosa got a new contract, a 5-year, 135 extension.
Yeah, Joey Bosa is a beast. He deserves. I would have, for a guy like Joey Bosa, I'll give you a blank check. You write the number on it, and I'll sign it. Just go for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. He is
Yeah.
a beast.
Mm-hmm.
He is a beast, and it runs in the family. Nick Bosa is a beast also.
Yeah.
So
honestly,
he deserves all that money.
Yeah, he deserves a contract, and $102 million guarantee is a NFL defensive record for him too.
Yeah.
He deserves it. And that Chargers team looks like I have a bright future, but not as bright in the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
No. So, and
Those are playoff teams, I think. Maybe they could be.
Only
Both
the
of
three
them.
playoff teams from one division.
I mean, it happened.
can happen.
It happened with the Saints, Falcons, and Panthers the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Was
They were
Panthers was in the playoffs that year?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty positive.
Because I thought Cam was injured, and then they just missed out.
Hold on.
Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but I can see the Broncos making the playoffs this year.
I
in the
really
wild card.
can't see it. I can't see it at all.
Only thing we need is the offensive line. That's the biggest weakness out of the whole entire team. We need someone to protect Drew Lock. And, we add Melvin Gordon, too. So, if Phil Lindsay gets injured, we still have Melvin Gordon, too. And if Melvin Gordon gets injured, we have Royce Freeman, too. So, and then we add Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler.
Yeah,
and our defense is already fantastic from there. So,
pretty good.
But we got to sign Justin Simmons, too, because we have him on the franchise tag. So, we got to give him his money, too. And then Bradley Chubb, too.
Wait, didn't one of the offensive linemen for the Broncos go to West?
Yeah.
Wilkerson.
Well, yeah, Wilkerson.
He doesn't start.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I don't know who the Broncos starting five offensive line.
Yeah.
You really wouldn't know because that's how bad they are.
I mean, can you really name, if I named a team right now, could you name one offensive lineman for that team?
I don't know. Let's
Only
see.
offensive lineman I can think of is the Colts left guard. We got Adam.
The Titans. Silence.
Dude, no. There's the one really famous guy. He talks a lot.
Oh, with the hair and the tattoo. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
My gosh.
Who caught two balls? Who's caught two balls on the line?
Okay, whatever. What's his name?
Exactly. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
See, you can't name him. I know, we know who to talk about. We know who it is. We know who's there, but
only offensive lineman I know is Lane Johnson, I think.
See, I could name just Eagles. Brandon Brooks, Jason Peters. Samalu. Jason Kelsey, Dwayne Johnson.
Take your time.
No, it's fine. Man, I gotta find this guy. Move on to the next topic. I'll be right there.
Okay, so as you guys know, the NBA shut down March 11th, 2020. And after 4 months of this hiatus, the NBA is officially back.
Let's
And
go.
that might be better too. As we saw the 2 games tip off, 2 close games too, with the Jazz versus Pelicans and the Lakers versus Clippers. First, let me talk about the Jazz versus Pelicans. So, as you guys saw the score, the Jazz beat the Pelicans 106-104. And Brandon Ingram had a great game with 23 points, 8 boards, and we got Zion with 13 points, only playing 15 minutes too. Lonzo Ball struggled with shooting 2 for 13 with 4 points and went over 4 for the 3-point line. Got 7 assists and 6 boards, 20 points for Drew Holiday and 21 points for JJ Redick. While you saw Jordan Clarkson with 23 points, 8 for 17. Donovan Mitchell struggled in the first half, but still had 20 points at the end, shooting 6 for 4, with 5 assists and 5 boards. And we got Joe Ingles with 13 points. I was actually surprised I saw Joe Ingles playing because I thought Joe Ingles wasn't going to play at all.
Yeah,
I didn't say earlier. Yeah. And then we got Mike Conley with 20 points. Rudy Gobert with 14 points, 12 boards, and
20 blocks.
3 blocks. And then we got Royce O'Neal with 12 points. So, looking at this game, you guys saw that the Jazz are proving everybody wrong that they can they're still a playoff team, because most people wrote the Jazz off their books because they heard that Joe Ingles wasn't going to play, but guess he's playing now, and Bojan Bogdanovic is not playing. But you also can see that the Pelicans really need Zion because he sat out the last 7 minutes of the game, and they probably really needed him too.
What was the thinking behind that? Don't put Zion in.
Probably still recovering from
because
I still don't want to play him too many minutes from the injury or whatever, but
they were up.
He wasn't injured too because
I know, but he had the minute restrictions back.
What load management are you doing? It's been 4 months.
Yeah,
I know. No, you're not winning the ring this season, so. Anyway,
but who would have thought? It was they were up most of the game. After later in the first quarter, they started getting up and they started getting a bigger and bigger lead. Then they started blowing it, and late in the fourth, they didn't have it anymore because Zion wasn't in there.
Sounds like our pro-am team, but
it wasn't. It wasn't ever a 25-point lead. It was a 10. It was a 10-point lead for both teams, and the Jazz pulled it up. Like I said they would.
Yeah, I was really surprised seeing the Jazz win.
Yeah.
The only thing I liked the most, the game-winning free throws were shot by Rudy Gobert, the guy who ended the whole entire NBA for 4 months. To kind of see how he kind of redeemed himself with those free throw shots too.
That's not really redeeming yourself. It's their first regular season game back.
I found the guard that we were talking about. It's Taylor Lewin.
Yeah.
If I didn't say that was going to kill me all day, but okay. It's just the Pelicans have 8 games, and they need to win a good amount of them to make it in. So, sucks that you lose one here on the final shot. So.
Yeah, and the Pelicans also have the easiest schedule out of the 22 teams. So.
Of course they did. They want them in the playoffs so badly.
Yeah.
So badly.
I still want the Grizzlies in the playoffs. If the Grizzlies not in the AFC, I'm just gonna be.
Yeah, I want the Grizzlies or the Trailblazers to knock out the Thunder.
No, I don't want the Trailblazers. People keep on talking about how they sent us to rebuild mode. Who's in the playoffs and who's not.
Hold on, wasn't? Oh no, never mind. I was thinking of the Wizards. They had that team is. Oh, that team is messed up because of injuries.
The thing is, the Wizards still have a bad team than the Nets right now because half the Nets players are not even playing. Only player they got is Caris LeVert and Jared Allen.
I'm looking at the schedule for today.
Honestly, if I was like John Wall and Bradley Beal, I probably would play because you have a good chance of making the playoffs.
Okay, tonight the games we got: the Orlando Magic versus the Brooklyn Nets,
Match
the
for the
Memphis
dub.
Grizzlies versus the
Marco Fultz going off.
Trailblazers.
Okay. Marco Fultz going off. I'm calling it.
These are all bad games until 6:30. Listen, Magic Nets, Grizzlies Trailblazers, Suns
Grizzlies.
Wizards, Celtics Bucks at 6:30. Kings Spurs at 8, 9 Rockets Mavs. So there's two good games today,
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's get into the second game that was going on last night. Lakers versus the Clippers, the Battle of LA, but in Orlando. So the Lakers won 103 to 101 with LeBron doing a game-winning shot and playing some clamps on Kawhi and Paul George.
On that last play.
Yeah, that was nice. So we got Clippers. On the Clippers side, we got Paul George with 30 points, shooting 11 for 17. He was going off. He didn't do it in OKC. We got Reggie Jackson with 10 points. Kawhi with 28 points. And he was clamping up LeBron, too, forcing LeBron to go doing only 16 points. And Patrick Beverly going with 12 points. And then we got Anthony Davis with 34 points, 8 boards, 4 assists. He shot 2 threes, too. And he converted all of his free throw shot, too, all 16 of his free throw shots. And he was watching that game. He showed that he was the star of the team at the moment. And that what they really need going deep in this playoff run. And we got LeBron with 16 points, 7 assists, 11 boards. And we got Kyle Kuzma, too, coming off the bench with 16 points, shooting 4 for 8, 4 for 7 for the three-point line, 7 boards. And we got Deion Wade with 11 points. And Alec Caruso with 7 points. So what are you guys' thoughts about watching this game? Because I feel like most people was watching this game than the Jazz versus Pelicans game.
The king of LA, LeBron came out when it mattered in the clutch time. But, I'm not going to take too much from this game because the Clippers did rest some guys. Like, they weren't at full strength. Like, for example, Montrezl Harrell didn't play. I don't think, looking at the box score here.
Lou Williams didn't play.
Yeah,
Lou Williams.
We'll get to that later.
Because of his poor decision making.
Let's talk about that. Lou Williams. So let me pull up the report. It was like Lou Williams went out when you say he was supposed to go to like a business, like a Family Matter thing, but instead he decided to go to a gentleman's club, aka a stripper club, and decided to ignore all the violation that the NBA do, and the NBA forced him to quarantine for 10 days. So that's gonna hurt the Clippers a lot.
Didn't he say he was just getting chicken wings from there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
What a smart guy.
Mm-hmm. It takes that one guy just to ruin the whole entire thing.
It does.
I feel like he's like 34 years old, been in the league for 12 years. Like, this is something that a rookie would do. Something that, let me say, Joel Embiid would do. No offense.
That's fact.
Like,
but not right now. Joel Embiid's taking it super serious.
Yeah,
I can't argue with you.
Something that someone on the Sixers would do. Just saying.
Yeah, young and immature.
Yeah. So, like, and you see Zion, John Morant taking this more mature than a 34-year-old player. It's not looking good for him, too. And it's going to hurt the team a lot because they probably should have needed him against the Lakers, too.
He'll be good for the playoffs, though, right? He'll be back for the playoffs. Yeah. That's where it matters.
Mm-hmm.
A few weeks, 2 weeks, I think.
The Clippers are taking the regular season so lightly anyway.
Yeah.
With all their load management and stuff. I'm not going to take too much from last night's game.
Yeah, but what are you guys' predictions about is this going to be a Western Conference matchup, or you think, and if it was a Western Conference matchup, you think who's going to win that 7-game series?
I think Go ahead, guys. You got it.
They have the king. They have the king. Anthony Davis dropped 34 points last night.
I think so.
Um,
Yeah.
I like the pickup of Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith. Like those guys will work with LeBron.
Yeah, these both used to be LeBron
I
teammates
think their
too.
team. I think their team got better through that, except for Avery Bradley. I miss him.
Yeah,
But
they're gonna miss his defense a lot.
yeah,
I wish they kind of should have added DeMarcus Cousins, but DeMarcus Cousins was still recovering from injuries too. But because that'd be a good pickup.
and they
Their
already cut him earlier.
guard or their centers are like in a good situation.
Yeah, because they were gonna pick up DeMarcus Cousins if JaVale didn't come to play. No, it wasn't JaVale. It was Dwight. Dwight didn't come to play.
Yeah, Dwight. The team's just. Oh, I think it'll probably be a Western Conference Championship matchup. Because I don't think the Clippers are going to fall out of second place, if I'm being honest, and the Lakers.
The Lakers
most
certainly
definitely
aren't
won't
from
fall
where
out
they're
first.
at. The Lakers are getting through. That's for sure.
So
I just see like Paul George might get injured during the bubble, because like you see, like him like in the second half of the season he always get like an injury or something to slow him down. As you guys saw last year against OKC, he was having an MVP season before the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, he suffered some elbow injuries. It was like elbow or shoulder injuries, and that's just hurt him a lot in the long run. Then when we were playing against the Trailblazers, Russ and Paul George wasn't at their 100%, and then we ended up losing.
Yeah, that's what they weren't at 100%. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why. My bad. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. But they still have Kawhi on the team too, and they have a lot of depth. So I still feel like they're gonna make a long playoff run. But I feel like if they play the Mavericks in the first round, that might be a team that upset them.
Yeah, I honestly, the Mavs. Oh my god!
The fact that I'm just saying, the fact they're the Clippers. Period. Like I just don't believe that they're gonna pass the second round just because they're the Clippers. The Clippers never made it past the second round.
Dude, with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan.
They blew a 3-1 lead to the Houston Rockets with James Harden. And James Harden had his worst playoff series, one of his worst playoff series against the Clippers.
James Harden's basically like always a playoff choker. Like he'll have good games, but
yeah, because he always going out to the strip club during the playoffs. That he did when he was on OKC in the finals. He went to the strip club the night before Game 4.
Yeah, he did. He told us that. I remember that. So you're saying immature like the Sixers. You could have said like James Harden.
Yeah, like
former
James Harden.
Thunder player.
Former James Thunder player, but I miss that team. Okay, so NBA Executive Director Michael Roberts said that the 2020 to 2021 season might have a bubble next year for all 30 teams. What are you guys' thoughts about this?
Just speculation, but it's a good solution, but I don't think the people at Google said like they're gonna work online for like the whole next calendar year or whatever, but I think it's just they're trying to blow it up a little bit. That might be I don't know. It's in their best interest, I guess, for them just to be politically correct. If they were like, oh, we're gonna have fans by March or something, then
do I think they'll have a bubble next year? I can't. I really can't see them having a bubble again next year. That would be so difficult to do for 82 games.
And
when does the NBA season start again? Like I can't see it going until next.
Well, they're not doing 82 games for next year because they're going to have it start again in January. So it's going to be like a sorting season like they did like in 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So everything's going to be messed up. The schedule for every sport's going to be messed up.
At least it'll give the basketball regular season a little bit of urgency. Like I hate the basketball regular season because we were talking about this last night. It Baseball's 162 games, but at least not that many teams make the playoffs. So you still do have to win most of your you have to be on every night. Basketball, half the league makes the playoffs, and the only thing that you can say is seeding if you want an easy matchup. But LeBron wouldn't care when he went in with the Cleveland Cavs and the 4th seed.
Yeah, he was the first seed and still make it to the finals.
Yeah, so he didn't care.
Yeah, but it's LeBron. It's not any other normal human. It's LeBron.
Yeah, the GOAT.
Yo.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough for them having all 30 teams with all those players. They're already having trouble with players staying in the bubble. And there's only 22 teams right there.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to contain the bubble for 7 months.
And they might not have enough hotels for the whole entire NBA too.
You do a whole regular season, bro. These guys are going to want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have families too.
Right.
For this is a couple of weeks and a month and two. But they're doing 6 months of basketball inside a bubble.
They would hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of them will get in trouble because all of them want to leave and see their families and just go back home. I wouldn't want to sit in a hotel room, in the same hotel room for I don't know how long, 7 months. That's horrible.
There's no way I want to be in the same hotel room as the Philadelphia 76ers too. My gosh.
And there's only dudes there. It's just dudes.
Hey, you can go fishing.
You can go fishing with the lads.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I heard they stocked the whole entire lake up so that all the NBA players can catch fish.
Even for bums?
Yeah, even the bums. Like the Sixers players. Like Ben Simmons, who caught the fish and still
couldn't throw it back in. Yeah.
Throwing a fish back
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He had it in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. It's just embarrassing. Mm-hmm. But you know what he did do against the Grizzlies? Green.
Cash and shoot.
Why does he shoot like this?
Oh, yeah! Speaking about the Sixers. You saw that scrimmage, OKC versus the Sixers.
Yeah.
You guys had 24-point lead.
Mm-hmm. You know who didn't play? For 1 second, Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm saying
take your
OKC
petty win. No, take your petty win. Take your petty win. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
When you make it to the finals, then you could talk to us because that's when the 7-game series is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Sixers are
when
going.
When you guys make it past the first round, that's when you guys can talk to me because you guys are going to lose to the Heat or Celtics.
Hello, Manny.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we made it past the first round.
Oh my gosh.
Would you play the Brooklyn Nets? Damn,
yeah.
Simmons went off in that.
You guys are in the East. We're in the West. 2 different places. East is weak.
The West is stacked. You go down to the 7th spot and you have the Mavericks.
I bet the Suns can probably be the 6th seed in the East right now.
I mean, the last teams in the East, don't they have losing records?
Yeah, they haven't won 30 games yet. The Nets.
That makes sense in basketball too. Mm-hmm. You barely see an 8 seed upset a 1 seed, and they get in with losing records. What is the point? They need to make some urgency and maybe make the playoffs smaller.
Well, in the West, you always see close game with the 8th seed and the 1st seed too, because they actually had good talents. Because most of the time, AC teams are teams that suffer a lot of injuries or young teams too. Those are most of the AC teams, but in the East, those are just teams that are just in the middle and not playoff contenders, but almost one player away from tanking.
The last time I can remember an 8 beating a 1 isn't it when the 2011 Sixers or 2010 Sixers beat the Bulls when D Rose went down?
Yeah.
That's the last time.
And before that was the Mavericks versus Warriors.
Yeah, that's 2006, so
yeah,
barely ever happens.
So what else? Oh yeah, okay. So they're in the bubble right now, and they're all they're probably talking to each other. People are having speculation that the next super team will come out the bubble. Do you guys think this is true? And what teams, what players will combine to become the next super team?
I mean, you gotta look at upcoming free agents, But these guys, they could definitely negotiate. They say that the Miami Heat super team came from the Olympics, like they all talked about it there. So I can imagine it.
Yeah.
I really don't know what
And
teams
when you
could
have
be like that next year.
and when you have NBA superstars in the same room talking to each other, trying convince each other, this happened with James Harden. When James Harden was on with the team when the FIBA World Cup, when he was still on OKC, players were saying that, oh man, you need to get out of OKC, have your team on your own. And he was listen to that. And when contract time come around, he didn't take the cheap contract. He wanted the more expensive contract. And that's how he got himself out of OKC. And you got players like LeBron, Dwayne, and Chris Bosh, talking to each other during the Olympics, and then eventually teaming up together. You got Anthony Davis and LeBron, how they do their tampering. So
Giannis is a unrestricted free agent this year. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. And Steph Curry been, pitching a lot to Giannis too.
That would be dirty.
Yeah.
Dude, no, that's
or
insane.
Miami too, Giannis at Miami.
No, I don't think that would happen. But geez, just imagine Steph and Giannis.
The Bucks aren't built to win in the playoffs. I swear, they're the regular season kings, but they don't freaking win in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're gonna get out by the second round by the Sixers, Raptors, Celtics, Heat, basically all the teams.
How many teams could beat them? I feel like
the Raptors. If the Raptors stay in the second seed, they won't be able to play.
But I think Giannis just likes Milwaukee too much. I don't think he'll leave.
Yeah, he seems like a really loyal person. But we also said the same thing about LeBron when he was still on Cleveland.
That's true. Milwaukee built up Giannis. They took a chance on him with the 13th pick, and
and was a project too.
Yeah, he was a huge project. They literally made him.
Yeah.
LeBron was already the chosen one. LeBron was already the chosen one when he got to Cleveland. He was the best player in his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he came from Akron, Ohio, not an hour away from Cleveland. So, honestly, in my opinion, people probably thought he was going to stay in Cleveland forever since he's from there. But all those playoff losses, not getting him the talent around him, probably changed his mind and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's no way that Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade was going to go to Cleveland. So, you got to go to Miami. I'm still thinking, what if Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron went to Chicago with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer? That would be such a super team right there.
I don't know. Does Derrick Rose still fall apart though?
Well, it would take off a lot of stress off of Derrick Rose. He won't be playing 30, 40 minutes a game because Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, that's true. Even the game that he got his fourth injury in it against the Sixers, that game was over. So sad.
Speaking of Tom Thibodeau, the New York Knicks signed Tom Thibodeau to a 5-year contract. So, you guys think this is a good sign to get Tom Thibodeau or no?
No. There needs to be a vision. Tom Thibodeau, the guy to go through this, he's known for his defense when he coaches, really. And
playing 40 minutes a game for players.
I don't know. He went to the Timberwolves with a young team, failed there. He was out. I don't know.
He ruined the whole entire Timberwolves team because they had Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and he was going to get Laurie Markkinen, trade all of them away for Jimmy Butler, try to bring back the old Chicago Bulls team with bringing Todd Gibson, Joakim Noah. Well, he tried to bring Joakim Noah, tried to bring Derrick Rose in. Still didn't work. Before Jimmy Butler got injured, they were the fourth, like the second seed in the West, and then they became the eighth seed in the West when he came back, and still fell apart against the Rockets in that year, and they never been the same since Jimmy Butler left. That's the only success they had for like the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And thing is, Tom Thibodeau, he plays his player for 40 minutes, like saw with Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Karl Anthony Towns. Like they get injured a lot because he's playing.
The whole game.
Whole entire game. It's like LeBron in 2018 playoffs. So like I'm just saying that RJ Barrett and like Julius Randle might be getting a lot of serious injuries coming soon in the future.
I guess the options for them were just low because they're the New York Knicks and they're all out of whack. So
remember when Kyrie thought he could do it himself? Carry a team, win the chip. No.
Yeah, didn't really work out.
Not at all.
Yeah, he's now ruining the Brooklyn Nets, putting that team in the grave.
Gone to the Knicks, bro. Like that's the bigger team in New York. Nobody cares about the Nets.
Honestly, I feel like the Nets should never try to sign Kyrie. Should have kept D'Lo, kept the whole entire team. That team was on the rise too.
Yeah, it's just that Kyrie and KD were friends, and they're like, we want to do this together. But stylistically, I don't even see how that works.
Yeah.
He is like, oh, I'm gonna leave Russell Westbrook because he doesn't pass the ball. Oh, let me go team up with Kyrie Irving.
A more ball dominant player too. KD. That guy.
Love that guy. Not at all. Not at all.
Don't like him at all.
And that movie, Thunderstruck, worst movie ever. Yeah, terrible actor.
See, like
I remember that movie first came out. I was like asking for it for Christmas. And I got it for Christmas. I was so excited to watch it. Probably when I was young. I probably thought it was the best movie ever. But
Trainwreck featuring LeBron is better.
That's true. With Space Jam 2 coming out soon?
Why do I feel like I've heard that for like the past 10 years?
I know.
Space Jam 2 coming out soon.
But it's coming out, I think it's coming out next summer.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
It's supposed to have Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard. I think I don't know. That's all I remember. I know it was Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard. And, Damian Lillard can leave Portland, might go to LA. People would think that if he was going to leave Portland, he was going to go to LA, talking about the Lakers and New York. And how he's already on Space Jam 2. And I was surprised to see him on Space Jam 2 because I thought they were just going to sign, get people who work with Nike or Jordan. Because, how Space Jam is Nike endorsed, basically a Nike endorsed movie. So, and Damian Lillard's from Adidas, so that were my thoughts about it. But it seemed like a little tampering might be going on in Space Jam 2.
You're just mad because nobody wants to come to small market OKC.
Yes,
I'd rather go to Cleveland before I went to OKC.
Yeah, OKC is a great city to go to.
Great city to go to.
Mm-hmm. We give birth to some great talented like me, Blake Griffin, Trae Young.
Said me.
Griffin's not even that good, bro.
Trae Young. You said Trae Young?
Yeah, he was from Oklahoma. And he grew up to be a Thunder fan too.
That guy thinks he's so great.
I know.
He's on a horrible team and he's stat pads.
Yeah, he puts up 30 shots a game and shoots from the
and
half-court spot.
40 points, and he gets and he's surprised when he does it. He's like, "Oh, I dropped 40 points this game."
So ugly too.
He's already losing hair like Liam. Yeah. So you guys probably heard this already. So the NBA are saying that for the awards, they're not going to count the awards they're doing, like the stats they're doing from the bubble. So that's probably going to hurt a lot of players like Zion, LeBron. So you guys think it's not a good idea? You guys think they should count the stats in the bubble right now? Because most of the players who are contending for awards are in the bubble right now. Like rookie of the year. Only person who's probably not in the bubble is like RJ Barrett for rookie of the year. But like he's not gonna. We all know he's not gonna win it. So
I think it's better that they don't. Because one, they're coming back rusty,
Your guess.
yes, we can't hear you.
You're like
Okay. Well,
since your laptop's on your legs. I don't know.
so
the mic.
one, they're coming back rusty, and then a few teams are going to try to do different things with like, oh, we don't want to play LeBron in our last 5 games when they don't even matter for us. So they're going to try to do a lot of things like that. And it's just fair. And it's just fair, to the people that aren't in the bubble.
Well, like most of the players who are competing for those awards are in the bubble. Like
I know, but some aren't.
Like who? Besides, like RJ Barrett is like the only player who's
probably some 6-man candidates that you're not even thinking about. Some defense player of the year candidates.
Or like, are you talking about Dennis Schroeder, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell? Like all those players are in the bubble.
Okay, whatever. It's like LeBron.
All the most improved players are in the bubble too. Bam Adebayo and.
What if LeBron plays 15 minutes next game because they don't need him to do anything? Like why do we count these stats? Why is it such a good thing to count these stats?
Can you think of a 6-man on the Charlotte Hornets, the Chicago Bulls, the Knicks, the Detroit Pistons, the Hawks, or the Cavs? That would be like a contender.
Yo.
The only 2 players that not in the bubble who's contending for awards, Devontae Graham and RJ Barrett.
Yeah. Okay, well that's too many then.
But I feel like they should at least count the stats because that's going like LeBron was going on a roll, as you guys see, like through the final stretch. If they didn't stop the NBA, he was going to win MVP in my opinion.
He should still win MVP.
Yeah, it's true.
LeBron he's almost averaging a triple-double. He's like 0.2 assists off from it.
You know who averaged a triple-double?
Oh my gosh.
Russell Westbrook.
3 years straight.
What, did you guys get bounced first round that year? Congrats. Like, LeBron made it to the final every single one of those years. Other guys win MVPs. LeBron, actually makes it deep in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, LeBron deserved more MVPs. But I feel like the reason why they don't give him those MVPs because they don't want to make him seem better than Michael Jordan. Yeah. He deserved it when Russ won it. He deserved it when Harden won that year. He deserved it when
Harden won it. And the Russ year, I'll give it to Russ because that was the first time in a long time that somebody did that, and it was special. But now everybody's doing it, and it's becoming kind of a joke. So
he deserved it when Derrick Rose won it. They just didn't want to give it to him because he was the villain that year.
It was a good story too for Derrick Rose.
So, in my opinion, he has 4 MVPs currently, so he deserved 6 or 7 MVPs.
Yeah, he's basically been the best player in the league since 2007.
Yeah. In my opinion, I really think 2018 LeBron in my opinion, is the most underrated LeBron. As you guys saw there, 4th seed on the Cavs. Basically no one. The team, the whole entire team was the first half of this team. First half of the season, the team was a whole entire different team with Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, and Isaiah Thomas. And
that's just such a bad roster. Listen to that.
And then they did a whole entire full 180 and got Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood, Larry Nance. Team's still not good. The second best player, Kevin Love, wasn't playing for half the season. He still averaging 28 points a game, 10 boards, 8 assists. And still carrying his team to the playoffs while you see James Harden putting up 30 points a game, but not good efficiency too.
That's a team starter pack that he was playing with.
Was that the year? That was the year James Harden had all the 40-point games in a row or whatever. Is that? And then I remember how that streak ended. He was at 38, and they had to quadruple team him at the end of the game, so he didn't get it. 4 people quadruple teamed him. They quadruple teamed him so he couldn't score. That's how that streak ended. It was just like
That's class. That's class right there.
Bro, I remember that. I remember like during that whole entire run when they were undefeated for like they went 12-0 in February, and they was about to go undefeated in March too. But it was like against who was it? No, it wasn't. I remember they beat the Celtics. I think they lost to the Warriors. That was like
Yeah, wasn't Chris Paul? He had the hamstring Game 7. Was that year?
no. I was talking about the regular season, but like yeah,
Oh.
hamstring too.
That was the year that they went to Game 7 with. Dude, LeBron would have won that finals if the Warriors lose that.
Honestly, and that whole entire 2018 playoff run, like all three of those rounds had LeBron shooting a game-winning shot, with the game-winning shot against the Pacers, game-winning shot against the Raptors, and then him dominating Game 7 against the Celtics. Watching that whole entire playoff run just shows how LeBron's like the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, Will, we watched that game, didn't we? The Game 7 versus the Celtics.
where do we watch it? Do we watch it, Andrews?
Andrews, I think we watched it like one game of the series, and we were like, oh my god. Even Cam was like, this guy's the GOAT. This guy's the GOAT. After that performance.
Yeah. And then it all ended there like, and he was still dominating Game 1 of the finals too until J.R. Smith.
I maintain to this day that they would have won that finals because momentum's a big thing. You win Game 1, you only need to pick up like one. Like you go into Game 2 thinking you're ahead. Even then you go home 1-1. You're like, okay, we split the road, and then you can just split the home series, and then like Game 5, whoever wins Game 5 wins like 80% of the time. You know. So,
in my opinion, I feel like the Raptors who won last year, probably was like the luckiest team to win a finals, like because Kevin Durant got injured, DeMarcus Cousins was at his 100%, and Klay Thompson didn't get injured. Imagine that would happen to LeBron James the year before if KD and Klay Thompson wasn't playing.
Listen. Mm-hmm. Who was the team that was closest to beating those Raptors?
The
Sixers.
Orlando Magic. Oh yeah, the Sixers.
Imagine this year. That's what I'm saying. Because they
lost Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the only clutch player on the team, and JJ Redick too.
Really, I like that team so much better than this year's team.
Yeah, me as well. But that's because Al Horford's horrible. He sucks.
Like
he's horrible.
4 years, $80 million, and
Tobias Harris getting 103.
Oh, it was and Tobias Harris 5 year, $180 million.
That's horrible.
He's getting paid more than KD.
Yeah, I just have no clue. I don't know what to tell you about those guys, giving them huge contracts and then not even signing our two best shooters. It's insane. It's insane. It's beyond me, actually.
You know, Joel Embiid was really upset when he heard Jimmy Butler left, so might be some speculation that he might leave for
a voice message.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So we actually got our first voice message here. You guys can go on Anchor.com, look up Don Tesla, give us on our voice message. You can do it on the app or the website. Right here, we got a voice message from a dude named Aiden. So this one's let's hear it out.
There's been a lot of talk. Who's better, Jason Tatum or Ben Simmons? They're both from the same rookie class. Even though Ben Simmons wasn't drafted the same year as Jason Tatum, he sat out his first year with injury. They were in the same rookie year, and they obviously had a very tight battle for rookie of the year. But let me make a case for Tatum. Tatum obviously has a better offensive game. He's got finishing. You just see what he did by dunking over LeBron a few years ago. You obviously know he was finishing. He's got shooting. He was lighting it up before the NBA went on a hiatus. And obviously his defense isn't as well-rounded as Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum's offense makes up for that. And he doesn't have bad defense. It's just obviously not Ben Simmons' level. So I want to know what you guys think about these guys.
Okay.
So who's got that first?
I'm gonna agree with him. I think Jason Tatum is the better player. And the thing that I see with Jason Tatum is that he's got a line going like this. He's going up. First year averaged like 13 points, second year 15, and then this year he's made a big leap to 23 and basically taken over as kind of a leader. Like um, the defense is the saving thing for Ben Simmons. That he's a defense player of the year candidate. Honestly, he should probably win it, but if I had to take a guy from my team, modern NBA, I need Jason Tatum. I need a guy that can shoot.
Ben
Sixers fan,
Simmons.
let's go.
Okay, Ben Simmons. Obviously, I'll argue for him. He is one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player in the league right now. He gets so many steals. He reads the passing lanes like it's his job, and then he's just so quick on the fast break. He turns all those steals into 2 points at least. So it's hard to argue like when he doesn't have a 3-ball or anything for him, but it's still like he's averaging, I don't know, 17 points per game, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, and his steals, he leads the league in steals. So it's hard to argue against Jason Tatum because he can shoot. It's also, I don't know. I just feel like Ben Simmons can kind of like he can. It's so hard to stop him in the paint that if he doesn't have anything open in the lane, he can just pass it out and then shot.
They're both great players. But I think at the end of the day, Jason Tatum wins you more games because late in the game, I feel like Ben Simmons has to hide, and Jason Tatum is like, "Give me that ball. I'm gonna go dunk on LeBron's head. I'm gonna take the shot to win the game." So I think I'd take Jason Tatum personally in that matchup.
Well, in my opinion, so I think you guys think I'm going to say Jason Tatum, but I actually think Ben Simmons because if you're comparing the list, so if you're comparing the list with finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, Ben Simmons is basically better than him all out 3 out of 4 of those slots with defense, playmaking, and finishing. And I feel like he still can develop his shooting too because in my opinion, and he still has better defense too. And Brett Brown moving him to a power forward position can also help him a lot. And if they get a coaching staff that can influence him to shoot the ball more, that's when he can be a top 10 talent in the league. Well, Jason Tatum, he's already have a head start with Brad Stevens as his head coach. And he had Gordon Hayward as a mentor too. And he just had a huge advantage before Ben Simmons too. So, in my opinion, I think Ben Simmons is the better player. Yeah, I bet you were surprised I said Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I am a little surprised. I thought I had my backup on the Sixers hate, but whatever. I love the question though. That was really good. I like that.
It's just man, he's right. He's got everything. He's got everything on him except shooting.
Okay. I could say Jason Tatum can finish as good of a level as Ben Simmons. Dunk on the
okay, listen. But if you've watched both regular season games, if you watch playoff games, the explosiveness off of Ben Simmons is a little more than it is off of Jason Tatum.
Thing is, Ben Simmons is kind of a regular season player because like he haven't shown up in the playoffs in the past.
Yeah, that's
remember
fair.
his 1-point game against the
my.
Yeah, I don't forget it because you guys never shut up about it. I'm driving home talking about the Sixers and I'm like, yo, Getz, Ben Simmons, he's gonna be a great player in the future. And he's like, do you remember his 1-point game against the Celtics? Shut up, please shut up.
And then
Like,
Jason Tatum probably had like more than 1 point that game, but that was his rookie year, so it doesn't matter.
It was his rookie year.
Haven't you said the thing that's like, Ben Simmons is averaging like the same amount of points as a rookie year?
That's true. Like, you see with Jason Tatum, like,
curve right now.
It's been on a curve.
But his team has been going up the whole time. Not just Ben Simmons. Like Ben Simmons points per game haven't been going up, but the assists and the rebounds.
You can see Jason Tatum points per game been going up because Kyrie left too, so that's probably one big reason too. But the thing is, I was talking with a friend earlier. We was talking about Ben Simmons or Jason Tatum. He gave a good point that the reason why he averaged the same amount of stats as his rookie year, because let's be honest, he's not the main the main scorer. They had Joel Embiid, they had Tobias, they had Josh Richardson.
Matisse, Shake. I don't know. He's nowhere near the first.
He's not the first guy to get the ball to. They have so many other balls. He's more of a playmaker than a scorer. So that's the big difference between Jason Tatum and Ben Simmons. Jason Tatum's a scorer while Ben Simmons is a playmaker. But Ben Simmons has the future of being a good scorer too.
Yeah, he was working with a a psychologist over.
Psychologist. You know who else was working with a psychologist? The future most improved player.
Not Markelle Fultz.
Oh, yeah, Markelle Fultz.
Oh. He needs a psychologist, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Markelle Fultz.
I heard he has mommy issues, reason why he didn't want to go to Philadelphia because he'd be closer to his mom, and his mom has security cameras in his apartment.
That's odd.
Yeah. That way he went to Washington State University. So he get he's a whole entire 2 days away from his mom.
Okay, I'm not gonna blame how bummy Markelle Fultz is on his mom. Okay, so she may be a fine lady.
And the Philadelphia coaching staff just ruins Markelle Fultz shooting.
No, it's not the coaching.
Shooting is never there.
Yeah, you can't blame the Philadelphia coaching staff for someone shooting.
Well, I'm blaming everything on Philadelphia.
Because JJ Redick, was that the Philadelphia coaching staff? No, because he was shooting well. Say it. Go ahead. It's just like.
And also he had that injury too that is only rare in baseball. So that was weird too. What was it called? I forgot what it was called, but only happens. Huh?
Was it like an elbow injury?
It was like a shoulder injury.
Probably. I don't know.
It only happens in baseball around pitchers. So.
Tommy John.
Tommy John is the elbow though.
Yeah, that could have been. I know it's the elbow, but that could have been it. Could have been.
Let me look this up. Let me see.
It's
yeah. Ben Simmons working on the J a little bit. Green. Watch. That team's a team to look out for this year.
We might have an answer to Ben Simmons or Jason Tatum by the end of these playoffs, especially if they match up against each other.
Okay, it was called the Tyrannic Outlet Syndrome.
I've never heard of that, actually.
Is
what is it?
I've never heard of that in any sport.
Okay, let me see what it is.
I guess only bums get it.
Right.
It affects the space between the collarbone and its first rib and causes trauma, repetitive injury. Yeah.
Okay.
And pain and symptoms include pain in shoulders and neck, numbness, weakness, coldness in the finger. So I can see that affecting his shooting a little bit.
I can see that affecting everything about him.
He's making the weirdest excuses for this guy. He's a bum. That's it.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Future recipe player.
Man,
I'm just waiting for
even if he's most improved player, that doesn't mean he's made it. You were the first overall draft pick, buddy.
Yeah. But
you shouldn't have to.
It's not his fault that not a good, inconfident team took him with the first pick overall, even though they didn't need a point guard at the time.
Much better player out of that draft class, Jason Tatum.
Donovan Mitchell. Honestly, what are your thoughts? Who's better, Donovan Mitchell or Jason Tatum?
Lonzo Ball would have been a better pick,
Tatum.
honestly. Lonzo Ball would have been a better pick, but I think LeVar Ball would have killed them for not letting him go to LA.
LeVar, you're talking about shooting, that's the. I probably want. You already have two. You already have one playmaker. You don't need two playmakers that can't shoot.
So hold on. If I were to, you're talking about Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. If I were to switch one of my one of my players from the starting five, if I were to take out, let's say I'm taking out Josh Richardson for one of them.
Mhm.
I'd easily put Jason Tatum over Donovan Mitchell.
I'll put Donovan Mitchell.
Another big guy who can shoot, who's explosive. Put him
Yeah,
at
but
Donovan Mitchell kind of fell off. Like his hype is like gone. I
Yeah.
yeah, because he's in Utah. That's the reason why.
small market.
hmm Rookie year, he's still putting up the same. Like he's still putting up great stats too, improving over. In his rookie year, he put up 22 points a game on a team that no one thought they were going to make to the playoffs. Made it to the playoffs. Upset the OKC Big Three with Carmelo and Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
Big three in quotation marks.
Mm-hmm. Bruh, oh my! I went to OKC that same like a month after that. They lost to Utah, and they had like a sign with like all like famous OKC things, and like showing like the conference championship trophy at the hotel, and they show up the OKC Big Three with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, and they was like super hype about it, and I'm like, wow, man, it
Wow.
really worked out so well for them.
Imagine your display case
Mm-hmm.
has a few conference championships in there. Embarrassing.
hmm
Not even one Larry O'Brien in there.
So we're up and coming. We've been in the league for like, well, OKC been in the league for 10, 12 years.
What a joke team.
Small market, you know. And we were close in the finals too. We would never trade away James Harden away. And if that Tyson Chandler trade would have came through, we probably would be at the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ifs and buts.
But in other news, let's go over to the WNBA. So, as you guys know, the rookie from Oregon played for the New York Liberty, Sabrina Ionescu, dropped 33 points in her second game against the Dallas Wings. 33 points, shoot 11 for 20, 6 for 10 for the three-point line, shooting having 7 boards and 7 assists. The future looks bright for her too. The future looks bright.
Go ahead. Actually, sorry, I keep interrupting you. This one.
Yeah, the future looks bright for her. Like she's like the one player I'm actually going to turn on TV and watch the WNBA because like I rarely watch the WNBA, but like she's like the one player that I will probably turn on my TV. Her and the other girl who's like in that March Madness tournament too, like a couple years back, who shot 2 buzzer-beating shots to win the tournament. And both players are both mentored by Kobe too, so that's a big reason while she's doing so great too, and also getting mentored by Curry too. So, what are you guys' thoughts about her?
I was gonna ask what a good game for like a WNBA player is. Like how many? Like what's a?
It's probably similar, kind of.
Yeah, probably something like 20 points. That's be a good game.
Yeah, probably a little bit less points.
Okay, because like I don't know. I was watching yesterday. I went out to grab wings, and I was watching. There were 2 games on. It was the Jazz Pelicans, and then it was I forget. I don't know the teams for the WNBA, but I was seeing them, and they just. It's just like weird to see nobody throwing a tomahawk dunk down.
I feel like they should lower the rims to 9 feet.
Why not? Like 9.5? That would already bring enough players in that could dunk or something.
Yeah.
But
Because that's dunking the ball just brings a lot of excitement. Like,
Yeah.
a little bit hard to do now. It's like if you change the stairs by a quarter of an inch, your stairs in your house, like you'll trip and fall, like just without even thinking about it. So if you're a basketball player and you've been training your whole life and it goes down 6 inches, your jumper might be broke.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
yeah.
Because not all WNBA players are gonna be able to dunk. There's some that are like just short, just super short.
Yeah.
Or when Zaya Wade goes in the WNBA, the whole entire different
Wrong
league.
for that. No, you're wrong for that.
Don't sue me. Okay. And what else do we have? Okay, let's go to the MLB. You guys know the MLB is officially back, but we have a problem. Miami Marlins. Several players on the Miami Marlins tested positive, so they canceled the game against the Phillies. And several
14 players tested positive.
14, yeah, 14 players because they went out in Atlanta one night. And you know what they did tonight? No, not the Marlins. They canceled another game because one player for the Brewers versus Cardinals game got corona.
It's all falling apart. And
the Yankees versus Phillies game also got canceled too.
Brewers too. Two Phillies staff members got coronavirus. I don't think
so. It's not looking good for the MLB.
They're not doing it the same because at the end of the day, the players go home back to their family. You know, maybe their wife went grocery shopping or something, and that's how these things happen. So
they should try to do something similar with the bubble, like not like an actual bubble, because there's no way they're gonna have all 32 teams.
That'd just be so hard with all 32 teams, right? All 32 teams in one baseball field.
They would have had to do it like one of these baseball complexes.
They probably have like 3 different cities they can go to, where they play their games like according to the division, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They play series too anyway, so they can easily do that.
But the Blue Jays were the ones who canceled the series versus the Phillies. They're like, no, we're not playing them. So it's super annoying because this whole thing's gonna fall apart, and in about 2 weeks we're not gonna have any more baseball.
And the commissioner, he's like the biggest idiot ever. I know back when he handled the Astros thing so wrong. I don't understand how the Astros could win a World Series in 2017 and then they would stop cheating. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then so you're telling me like they didn't cheat in 2019? He said that, and then he was like, then people were like, take the World Series away, and he said it's just a piece of metal. I was like, that was the point where I'm like, okay, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what this means. And then now he said, it doesn't feel like a crisis. It doesn't feel like a crisis. It's just a little bump in the road, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like baseball is seems like a dying sport to me. It's not like what it used to be in the past.
No, baseball's always
different. Yeah, baseball you can't. I don't know. You can't get rid of baseball like that. Baseball is never going to be a dying sport. Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
Actually, not everyone. I'd say most people.
Like, you just know that people care. It's when your team is bad, people really don't. In baseball, more than like any other sport, they don't show up.
Yeah.
But like the Bryce Harper effect that we had here last year, that shows that people still care.
Yeah, it's true. As soon as you guys got Bryce Harper, I walked around school, see everybody wearing Bryce Harper jerseys. Like, that's the first time I see someone wearing Philly jerseys.
Right, the Phillies had so much hype last year.
I
was so much more optimistic about that roster than this year's roster. We literally looked like a super team, bro.
Nationals won championship.
Yeah, but that's all because of pitching.
What did you say, Manny?
I say National won championship, remember? Wow, Bryce Harper.
I remember.
Yeah, but that's just because they got a third starting pitcher, and then they had the 3 aces. And even the guys after that were still good.
You're wearing it like a bib.
Honestly, the whole entire Astros cheating thing just takes away a great story.
Lucky.
Yeah, the great story they had, too. Because, like, remember, they had the hurricane in Houston that same year. And that one championship brought hope to everybody in Houston. And then after finding out they cheated the whole entire time, this snatched away everything from them.
It really does.
But speaking about the Astros versus Astros, so the Astros and Dodgers play earlier this week, and they were getting a little heat over there. They started clearing the benches, and some players got fined.
I wanted to see some fights. I was
Yeah.
done with social distancing at that point. I wanted to see some fights. Like if one team got cheated the hardest, it was the Dodgers. Like what they did.
Yeah.
Like it was like they played against Clayton Kershaw. He threw like 60 curveballs, not one swing and miss. Buddy, that just doesn't happen.
It's Clayton Kershaw. That's insane. That is the most insane thing I've ever seen. He has the most dominant pitches in the MLB.
His
And
curveball is legendary. And it's not like he throws the curveball for a strike, so they can just let it go and get a ball. But
yeah,
and then that writes the whole narrative about Clayton Kershaw, how he chokes in the playoffs. Like, yeah, he's choked in the playoffs before, but the Astros was like really hurt for him.
And did like someone like from the Astro coaching staff went to the Red Sox, and people think that the Red Sox might cheat it too?
People were saying the Red Sox cheated. People were saying the Yankees cheated, but like nobody did it as blatantly as the Astros.
So people can also be saying that the Dodgers got robbed from 2 championships.
Yep, yeah, the Dodgers did definitely get robbed. Maybe from 1 for sure, maybe from 2. I just don't understand that the report comes out and they go, "Oh, the Houston Astros cheated in 2017," but after they won the World Series, they stopped. What?
There's nobody didn't stop after 2016. Because if you don't get caught, like they're gonna keep on doing it.
And the punishment
Right.
is so weak.
So why would they stop?
I just said they should have just been had 2 years where no matter what their record was, they just would not make the playoffs.
And take away some draft picks too. Hurt him in the long run.
Yeah.
Or give that championship. Honestly, no, don't give the championship.
If you go to them and you're like, okay, Astros, for the next 3 years, your team, regardless of record, can't make the playoffs. Like they're gonna have to go into a rebuild because they're not gonna hold on to Alex Bregman on a team. They're not gonna pay guys like Alex Bregman on a team that can't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Joe Kelly's Fight Club. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, that's savage. Joe Kelly's a savage. He always has been.
So, I think that's all for today. You guys got anything else? You guys got your Forza racing NASCAR thing?
Oh, Forza? What are you talking about? NASCAR. This man said Forza, NASCAR.
No.
Yeah, I almost forgot. There is another Formula One race this weekend. They're in Great Britain this weekend, so it's a really historic race. Lewis Hamilton leads the world championship. He's won the last 2 races in a row. But we need a shift back this weekend.
Lewis Hamilton. That's my guy.
I picked the best player ever. Now it's my guy for the whole bandwagon. Man, he's on some bandwagon stuff.
Oh my gosh. So I think that's all. Hopefully we have a really exciting podcast for next week.
Yeah, I gotta get things set up,
Well, you guys got glizzies for your reward? Andrew got your glizzy or no?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that, and I'll get a video.
He's a bum. This Andrew guy is a bum.
I gave him a break because
it was his birthday week, so
yeah, it was his birthday, so
It's his birthday month, actually. So
it's his birthday year, actually. So
okay.
yeah, his 10th birthday decade. So
Yeah.
So that's all. If you guys watching from YouTube, make sure you guys like and subscribe, turn notification on, comment down below comment down below what we should argue with, like what's your guys' hot takes. If you guys want to give us a voice message, it goes on Anchor, like we said below, Don Tesla Pod. Type that in. You can send us a voice message on the app or the website. If you guys want listening from Spotify, make sure you guys follow. If you guys listen from Apple Podcasts, make sure you guys subscribe and give us 5 stars. And I think that's pretty much all we have for here today. Guys, got anything else?
Nope.
nothing.
And we out, and the Sixers still suck.